Metal Gear remakes. You may be aware that Capcom is releasing Resident Evil 2 Remake this Friday, and a demo was recently released which allows you to get a taste of the game. I'm not the biggest Resident Evil fan in the world, but I really enjoyed 7, so I decided to check this demo out. It quickly became apparent that this remake is far from an easy cash grab, and a lot of time and effort has gone into turning this into this. It seems Resident Evil 2 is yet to be another excellent remake, and once again I found myself thinking how great it would be if Konami stopped being dumb for 1 second and decided to put the same level of care and attention into remaking the early Metal Gear games. The Metal Gear series helped push the boundaries of gaming, and Metal Gear Solid, the first 3D Metal Gear game, showed off the potential of 3D graphics and is regularly cited as one of the finest games on the original PlayStation. The series continued with the excellent Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 on the PS2, and the series ended with Metal Gear Solid 5 in 2015. No, Metal Gear Survive doesn't count. While the more recent games are still totally fine to play, wouldn't it be great if we got a remake of the earlier games? In the same way Capcom is remaking the early Resident Evil games and getting plenty of money and acclaim for it, why doesn't Konami look into earning back some goodwill of gamers by remaking from the ground up the first 3 Metal Gear Solid games? Released in 1998, Metal Gear Solid proved how enjoyable stealth action combat can be, and also provided gamers with an amazing soundtrack, interesting characters, intense boss encounters, cutting-edge graphics, and wonderfully cheesy lines.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Metal Gear Solid was one of the early examples that proved video games could rival Hollywood movies. The game also had this incredible atmosphere and saw players take the role of Snake as he attempted to infiltrate a remote military base in Alaska called Shadow Moses. It was great stuff even back when 3D graphics were in their infancy, but imagine the nostalgia trip of revisiting these familiar locations with current gen hardware. We got a taste of this when Snake revisits Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid 4, which released on the PS3, and it was certainly a great part of the game, but it still pales when compared to a from-the-ground remake of that classic game. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty was released in 2001 on the PS2, and while polarising some fans over its change of player character, it was still a solid entry in the franchise, and gameplay-wise it improved and expanded upon many of Metal Gear Solid's features. It showed off what the PS2 could do, and it was a thrill to hide from enemies and lockers, explore Big Shell, and use a variety of new gadgets and weapons to overcome enemies and bosses. The game was a beauty upon release, as it was set on a large facility at sea which made for some great vistas. Seeing this recreated with current gen graphics would be a treat, and I for one would be eager to team up with Snake and Hal to take down the Sons of Liberty. I mean, who doesn't want another crack at Batman? The dude wheeled around on roller skates. Last but not least, we have my favourite entry in the Metal Gear series, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Set in the Russian wilderness during the Cold War, Snake Eater goes back in time and shows how the original Snake would go on to become the most important character in the series, Big Boss. Metal Gear Solid 3 allowed players to explore a vast jungle, and you had to hunt for food, scavenge equipment, and use camouflage to remain undetected by your enemies. The game also featured, in my opinion, the best and least convoluted story, and boasts some of the most memorable characters in the series. Released in 2004, the game was a feast for the eyes with its jungle setting that really felt alive. Birds sung in the trees, snakes and spiders slid through the undergrowth, and fish swam through rivers. It really felt like you had to use the wilderness to stay fed and well equipped, and plants could be used to create healing items. Survival was the name of the game, and players would have to treat any wound Snake took in the survival viewer. Got burnt by a grenade? Better find some honey to soothe it. Got a leech on you? Use your cigar to get it off. Honestly, the game has aged very well and is still very enjoyable to this day, but I can only imagine how enjoyable it would be with current gen tech. I think each of the main 3 Metal Gear Solid games are entirely worthy of a remake, and I've no doubt fans would eat them up. A remake of each game could also serve to fix some of the issues these games had. While they're certainly great games, no game is perfect, and I for one would welcome a better control layout so I don't have to hold down 3 buttons in order to aim in first person. Speaking of cameras, they should do away with the fixed camera angles, which, particularly in Metal Gear Solid 3, made it harder to see where enemies were. Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence did this along with the PS3 remaster, and it was a huge improvement. Seeing our favourite characters brought to life with high fidelity graphics would be a treat, and such remakes would remind us why the series was groundbreaking, and would remove the bad taste Metal Gear Survive left. Hell, why stop there? Konami could remake the equally excellent Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, which were both originally released on the PSP. Why not go even further and turn the original Metal Gear games from the NES era into 3D? How cool would that be? It was hoped that Konami might have such a project planned when images were released of updated character models from the series, but, ever ready to let down fans, it turned out these were Metal Gear themed Pachinko machines, essentially gambling machines popular in Japan. Jesus Christ, Konami. Look, I know the chances of this happening are slim to none, but maybe if someone with half a brain gets in charge of Konami, they may realise what a goldmine of potential money they're sitting on with the Metal Gear franchise. It's unlikely any future Metal Gear games are ever going to be accepted by fans now its creator Hideo Kojima has parted ways from Konami, but I'm sure they'll be much more receptive to remakes, especially if Konami goes out of its way to show care and respect to Kojima's work. But who am I kidding? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment and share it with your friends. That really helps my channel to grow. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. I try and put out at least a video every week. See you next time.